Before we get into this podcast, I'd like to tell you about our good friends over at My Vintage Jersey. They offer a wide variety of quality retro jerseys for a great price. Visit myvintagejersey.com and any order that is above €50 gets you free shipping and use code 6SideCalcio for 5% off, which is spelled with the number 6, lowercase ix, capital S, lowercase IDE, capital C, lowercase ALCIO, and it's all together. Now let's get into the podcast. Hey guys, welcome back to the Six Side Culture Podcast. I'll be joined by Danny today. What's up, bro?
What's up, man? What's up, Red? Yeah, I'm good. You?
Yeah, I'm doing well. It's been a while since our last podcast. I think it's been about 2, maybe 3 weeks. Honestly, it's been very overwhelming. We've had games every 2 to 3 days. We've had a lot of work. We've had final exams in school, so it's been tough. But we're back now. We've been deciding how to manage the schedule because obviously it's going to come back at one point. Cause next week there's international break, I believe.
Yeah.
So there won't be Champions League and Europa League. Yeah. So next week we can talk normally about the match day since we don't have to worry about the European competitions. But once they're back, we're going to have to figure out a way to kind of summarize everything because obviously it's too many games. We like to talk about all the smaller teams as well because we know that's what we're kind of getting known for now. Showing respect to all the teams, but it is very difficult when there's probably more actually, like 4 teams. I think there's seven matches in European competitions to talk about with all the teams. Then there's the match day, which is 10 matches, so that's 17 games to talk about, plus any news, and yeah, it's a lot. So we're gonna have to try and break it down. We'll talk about that next week, try and break it down, so see what's best for everyone. But for now, kind of have a summary here. Yeah, I guess we'll start off with Conte, something I really want to talk about. Antonio Conte at Inter, a lot of hype came into the move when he first joined, but Conte's been struggling. He's been struggling. Obviously, that 2-2 draw to Parma last weekend. Gervinho netted 2 goals. Good to see from a former Roma man. I was excited to see him score there. Shout out to my friend Ryan, big Gervinho fan, so he was happy about that. And they also lost to Real Madrid, which I don't want to fault them for, honestly. Real Madrid's never an easy game. Obviously, this is probably the weakest Real Madrid we've seen in quite a while, but still losing to Real in the Champions League and losing to any team in the Champions League, really, it's, especially for a new team like Inter, it's not going to be easy in the Champions League, but considering the results leading up to that match, it looks a lot worse. Yeah, Conte at Inter, he has the players. He can't complain. I don't want to hear him say, in January, we need reinforcements. Next summer, we need this guy, we need that guy. Inter has enough players to be doing better than what they're doing right now. You see a team like Sassuolo, obviously they don't have to worry about Champions League, but still, I believe they're sitting in second place as of right now.
Yeah, second place, and I think them and Milan, I think them and Milan are the only teams that haven't lost in the league this year. And this past weekend, they showed that they're a good side, even without the likes of Berardi, Caputo, and not even out a fully strength Boga. They're still a good side to look out for, and they have no excuse to even be top 2. Say their goal is not to get to Champions League. Their manager says it's their goal is just to try to get to the Europa League and also to develop the players to their full potential. So Inter too, it's just, again, to your point, they've been struggling, and especially with the players that they have, with guys like Perisic coming back, Nainggolan back at the club. They just brought in Darmian, and it seems like Hakimi as well. And it seems like they keep just needing more players. It's like they want to buy they're going to try to buy the whole world, but at the end of the day, they might not even finish top 4. It's just, it's not looking good for Inter right now. Who knows? Maybe this international break they can come back as a strong side. But right now, they're just struggling, and it's kind of surprising to watch, and it's something to look out for coming down the line of the season. And I just think it's going to be a long season for Inter if they keep playing like they are now.
Yeah, definitely. Inter's been underperforming, and yeah, I also like you mentioned undefeated teams. I want to shout out Roma as well. Our only loss is the Diawara game. And a quick note on that, if anyone's needs an update on the Diawara situation, it was supposed to be held on November 4th, which was this past Wednesday, I believe.
Yeah, Wednesday.
Is it yeah, Wednesday. Supposed to be held. That's the court date to appeal, but it was postponed to Monday now, so we're gonna find out. I don't think we're gonna win. We don't really have anything really to bring to the court, but we'll see. I think Roma will try to use the fact that Longo, who is the one at fault for Diawara being ineligible to be fielded that day, he was listed as an under 23 player, under 22, one of the two. I think it was under 23. He was at fault, and he's now working for Verona. I think he just signed like a couple of days ago, so yeah, I think Roma's going to try and use that at core, but I don't think we're going to win the case. But anyways, moving on.
Same thing for Napoli. Their court date is the 9th.
9th, yeah, so everything's coming. We'll find out during the international break, all the updates, so that's good. Get some answers finally. Now moving on, Lazio is a team I really want to talk about. In the league, they're not doing bad, but they're not doing as well as we've seen them in the last 2 years. Obviously, they've struggled a little bit now, Lazio. But in the Champions League, it's funny because they're actually doing pretty well, in my opinion at least. They have a win and 2 draws. They beat Dortmund 3-1. And then they drew Club Brugge and Zenit 1-1 in the last game.
Yeah, those are...
So, yeah, what are your opinions on Lazio this season? What should their goal be?
I have mixed opinions on Lazio this season. In the season, like you said, they're not doing the worst, but they're not doing, I think, what they're meant to be. But for Champions League, it's surprising too because they bet Dortmund 3-1, and we know the attacking talent that Dortmund have, and to beat them 3-1, it's impressive, and it shows that Dortmund's defense was the problem the whole season last year. But to Lazio's part, I think they got to do a little bit better in the league. Currently, they're sitting at 10th place with 10 points. But at the end of the day, the season's still young, and they're only 6 points behind Milan, who are in first place. So I think in the league they got to step it up a little bit. But in Champions League, I'm surprised because it's their first time in I think 13 years they've made it back to the Champions League, and they're doing pretty well for themselves. I know there's 2 results that right there. Those are 4 points that they dropped against teams like Club Brugge and Zenit, but it's always tough to go to places like that and to play. So I think if Lazio can continue this throughout the next 3 games, I could see them making it to the knockout stages, even in that group, even if they finish second and Dortmund gets first. But it'll be interesting to see what they can do if they can get to that next level and get to the knockout stages. I just think Immobile has to be a little bit better, and it shows that if he doesn't have a penalty, he's kind of invisible. Like there's a few games this year I didn't even know he was playing, and then there's games like you see that he plays, but it was a penalty. So I just think Immobile has to take a next step up, and I think the whole team's got to take the next step up a little bit and try to get back to where they were last season before they fell off.
Yeah, great point. Well said. I think, Immobile obviously has been nowhere near the same. It's going to be always hard to surpass that season he had, but, like Danny said, the penalties was a big part in his goals last season, and without them, he seems to be not scoring as much, so we'll see where that goes. I think Lazio's going to have to try and find another way to get other people involved and not just depend on Immobile, because when he's not scoring, they don't really seem to have much up top.
Yeah, and it seems like last season, when he didn't play, it's like their attack didn't know what to do. They looked so lost in the attack, and their team looked just so unorganized. And I think that could be the same this season. I don't have too much faith in their attack besides maybe Correa, because he seems like he could he's on the road to take a good step this season. He's having a pretty good season so far. I just think Immobile's their main part, and if he is injured, knock on wood, or if he's not playing up to his expectations, it's going to be a long season for Lazio, and I can see them struggling.
Yeah. Now moving on to another team that is struggling a little bit. I think we're starting to see weaknesses in Atalanta after some fairy tale seasons they've had getting to the Champions League. Now with Atalanta, Danny, I want to ask you a question, right? 3-1 to loss to Sampdoria in matchday 5, 5-0 loss to Liverpool, and they struggled against Crotone in a 2-1 victory last weekend.
And then a 4-1 loss to Napoli.
Yeah. Are we being overcritical based on how well they've done in the past, a couple of seasons, and are we being overcritical, or are they showing a lot of weaknesses now? Because in my opinion, the defense, I think we can all agree, is a big weakness.
You know what it is? I think I said it before, and I said last season as well, and we can all vouch for this. We all agreed on this too. Right now, we're seeing that Atalanta's defense cannot compete with anyone. It's shown that they can't compete with teams who can attack. And I just think, and I said it too last season, I go, if Atalanta want to be a team to look out for and to take that next step, go get the Scudetto, and maybe go pretty far in Champions League. They had a phenomenal season last year. They had, you could say, a miracle season. But now, after a miracle season, it all depends what you do that next season. And for me, I just think Atalanta didn't use the money right. They bought out. They had so much money from the Champions League, from the just Serie A. I think finishing second or third in Serie A. So they had some money to use. And for me, I feel like they're the same team as they were last season. They got maybe a few more, an attacker and maybe a left back or something. It's just they should have upgraded that defense. And I even said too, and it doesn't help. I think we're being a little overcritical now too. They're playing every game with their backup goalie. Just remember that, because Golini's injured. So he's a good goal. He's a great goalie actually when he's healthy and he's playing. Yeah. So I think we're just being a little overcritical. But if Atalanta want to go back to where they were last season, they have to upgrade that defense. And the game that I would have been worried for if I was Atalanta, saying, maybe we do need someone in the transfer window to come in as a defense, like a veteran presence who is a good, solid center back and he can help you, is when they lost 4-1 to Napoli and then they lost to Sampdoria after. Then, it's just, you don't, if you're a team like Atalanta, losing 3-1 to Sampdoria, it's just it's like a punch in the face. And then getting slapped by Liverpool 5-0. It's just, now they just need to work. They need to upgrade that defense. I don't like Romero at all. I just don't think he's a good enough center back for them to play consistently and to play every game. And especially in a 3-man back in the back, it's always hard when you don't have 3 solid guys back there. One weak link is going to expose the whole defense. They can attack with anyone, and they got a really good midfield. I just think if they can upgrade that defense, then they can be a team that we can actually say, okay, we have to play them lightly. But now a team like Liverpool, who is known for their attack, a team like Napoli, who are coming back to being known for their attack. Sampdoria, you can argue that that's their strong suit, is their attack at points. Teams that can attack will hurt Atalanta. And I just think they just got to upgrade that defense. And I've said it a million times, and I'm going to continue to say it until they do it. Because championships, defense wins you championships, offense wins you games. So just remember that. And then I think Atalanta could be heading in the right direction if they can get just at least maybe 1 or 2 solid center backs in the winter transfer window.
Yeah. And I think the fact that they've been overachieving as of late in the past couple of seasons is why we're so critical on them. So maybe we are being unfair, but I don't think so. I think Atalanta, another thing with their attack, against Liverpool, they didn't even score, which obviously Zapata had 2 chances. So if you're going to rely on your attack, you need to put chances away. You can't be, and okay, Liverpool is a top class team, so I'm not going to judge them on that match, but against Sampdoria, losing 3-1 is unacceptable. If they are going to push for another Champions League run, or even the Scudetto, some people were talking about early on, because they did start off well this year, I think the first 2 games, 3 maybe. But after that, they've been struggling, so. And give credit to Liverpool. I just want to say, Diogo Jota, fantastic.
Yeah.
He got a hat-trick. He was amazing. Salah, Mane, great goals. But, yeah,
Jota
I think Sportiello, Jota's a class. The first time I watched him, never really heard of him too much. I have a friend who is a big Liverpool fan, and he told me about him. Never got to watch him, and I saw him now, and he's really good. So, yeah, shout out to Diogo Jota. But, yeah, Sportiello, for me, 3 out of the 5 goals were, I don't want to put all the blame on him, but you could, because he came way too far off his line. Way too far off his line. And you could tell he hasn't played in, like big games in a while or important matches, because he just looked lost at some points. He looked off. He just kept running out, and when he did, he wouldn't, as a keeper, Danny, if you guys don't know, he played goalie his whole life. And, as you know, you have to make yourself look big, and he just ran at them like a bull. He wouldn't, I don't know. I'm no goalkeeper.
Toro.
Yeah, he was Toro. So, yeah, for me, if you're gonna run at a team like that with attack Liverpool has, Champions League winner.
Make yourself look big as possible.
Yeah. And if you're gonna do that against a team like Liverpool, you're gonna get burnt, and that's what happened. 5-0. Hopefully they learn for the next time, but in my opinion, 3 out of the 5 goals could have been avoided easily. This could have easily been a 2-1 match, 2-2 Zapata, but a chance to the way. But that's what football is. Sometimes the ball goes in, sometimes it doesn't. But gotta move on to the next match. And speaking about moving on, let's transition. Moving on now to Milan, another team who recently in Europe, yesterday actually, as we're recording this, they lost to Lille 3-0 in the Europa League.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that in a couple of minutes. But I just want to bring up Pioli. We all said we thought he'd. What word do I want to use? I don't want to say. Crumble's a good word. Yeah, I thought he'd crumble by now. We all did. We said it. I predicted November he'd be sacked, and they're sitting first in the league. So I was completely wrong. I still do think, in my heart of hearts, I believe he will be sacked eventually. I think Milan isn't going to run of bad form. I think every team does, but this Milan team, I don't know if it's too good to be true. I don't know if I'm just being a hater at this point because I want Roma to get in the Champions League, but I don't know how much longer they can keep this up for. If you look at their team on paper, Milan does not have a great team at all. In my opinion, someone like Romagnoli, Dan, you can disagree with me, but maybe I'm being biased. I do not think Romagnoli is a good player. If you saw against Lille, he was horrendous, probably the worst on the pitch. To me, Romagnoli isn't that good of a player. Against Roma, he basically gifted us the draw. But yeah, that Dzeko header, he didn't even jump. But anyways, forget about that. I just think this Milan team, I don't know how they're doing. You have Ibra with, let me check here, 7 goals in 4 matches for Ibra. And someone else, for me, is Milan's best player, Leao. Leao is fantastic. This guy's amazing. Danny, I don't know if you've seen him, but this kid, man, he's so good. He just pace, direction. He got skills.
He's good.
And his passing ability is so underrated. It's so good. But, what do you think about
you? I just think, you know what? I gotta give him credit because I thought, I think the whole everyone on the podcast thought that they were gonna crumble by now, and I thought so too. I just think they might too. It's Pioli, so he's known to be good for a few months, and then after Christmas into January, he starts to fall off. Hopefully he can prove us wrong this year, but I just don't think so. And I think by January, February, Milan could be sitting in maybe 5th or 6th. So if he's the coach, that remains on the Milan's future and their decision. I just think Milan won't be in first by the time Christmas comes or even January. It's early in the season, and some teams are late bloomers. I know Juventus, like even a few years ago, they started off poor, and then they just gone to this good run of form.
They were 14th place, right?
I think at one point, yeah.
I think they were 14th at one point.
Yeah, and then like it's a long season. It's not a sprint; it's a marathon. So I just think by December, I don't see Milan being top of the league. I don't even think I can see them dropping off in form, and I can argue that about Napoli too. Like I can see Napoli. There's some performances I just look, I go, against good teams we have to be better. But it all depends on how you're coached and if a player takes a big step and if he's in form. So I think Milan by January, February they could be maybe fourth or fifth. But I don't see them continuing this form throughout the whole season, and I think they'll start dropping off soon. Who knows if maybe this Lille game, which was a huge loss in my opinion. Shout out to Jonathan David, who's a Canadian prospect. He got a beautiful assist on, I think it was the second goal he got the assist on. And he's just a good player. He's a good player to look out for. And just a team shout out to Lille too, a team who every year sold their best players, went into Milan. I'm pretty sure the game was in Milan, right, Enz? Or was it in here?
Yeah, it was at San Siro, yeah.
Yeah, it was at the San Siro. And just gave it to them. A big 3-0 win. So who knows if this game could be the downfall. And just one thing I want to talk about too, and I know you're going to be smiling once you hear what I have to say. But what the hell is going on with Tonali? Why does he play a lot after? I don't know. For me, I felt like when he went to Milan, I thought it was going to be a good move for him. But it seems like he's just going to become the Milan bench warmer. He's still got a lot of time to grow and stuff, and I get they like the guys they have. But I just think Tonali could be a player that if you play him a lot, again, it's early in the season, and we'll see what happens down the line. But as of right now, that move doesn't look good for Tonali.
Yeah. Danny knows, everyone knows, it's well documented. I never rated Sandro Tonali. I never have. I don't think I ever will. He could become a good player. He will never be a great player, in my opinion. To be honest, you guys might think I'm crazy or just think I'm saying it now because he's doing bad, but I honestly, I watched him. I wasn't even trying to be, overcritical or whatever. I didn't see what everyone else was talking about. Everyone's saying, oh, it's a great ability to win the ball back. His shooting ability, his passing. I've never seen that, to be honest. I don't know, maybe I was watching a different game than other people. I just never saw it. I'm not sure. I think, honestly, it's because he looked like Pirlo. I think that's the only reason at this point, because I never saw
he played yesterday, but he didn't look too sharp yesterday. I don't think the team didn't. Milan's team didn't anyways.
Yeah, but, and if you want to compare him to Benacer, you can't even, you can't. Benacer is a completely different level. But yeah.
Maybe, because it depends on what formation they play too. It's sometimes Benacer's good, Kessie's good, those guys are good. So maybe Milan's midfield is just better than what we thought it was at one point.
Yeah, I think so.
I think even Tonali, underjudged that midfield. He probably thought he could ease his way in, but sometimes soccer's not like that. You have to work for your spot.
Yeah, Tonali, look, I'm not hating on him. He never did anything to me. I just found it very irritating when a guy at the time didn't make one Serie A appearance and they're saying he's better than Zaniolo. I just couldn't. I don't know what people were talking about. And people on Twitter, and people on Twitter are saying, oh, he's better than Zaniolo. I'm pretty sure they never watched him once in the Serie B, so I don't know what they're basing it on, the way he looks. I don't know. To me, it was crazy then. It's crazy now. Yeah, career mode. By the way, EA, how's this guy 91 rated potential? I don't know how that's possible.
Yeah, and one thing too, there's another comparison too. I like Meret as a goalie. I just think he needs to be a little bit better. People who are saying that he's better than Donnarumma, just
oh my god!
After last night's performance, I get he made a few one or two nice saves, but that goal, I get okay, it's a shot. You don't know if it's gonna go wide, but just attempt to go for it. Meret's got a good figure. He's tall. He's good height for a goalie. I'm pretty sure he can even get a finger to it or whatever. Just go for the ball. It seems like he always stands still when he doesn't he thinks it's going to go, oh, it's a perfectly placed shot. Just attempt. Like it seems like he's just lazy at times, like just in the net. And when he claims it, I get scared because he's known for missing the punch and it's going in or just like that. And I don't want to criticize him. I like Meret as a goalie. I still think he's got a lot of room to grow. And this is the benefit of the doubt of being a goalie. You could be 23, 24, 25, and you'll still have a lot of room to grow because goalies can play until they're like 42. Look at Buffon, 42. Who else? Neuer's like 34, 35. Like there's still a lot of room to grow, and I just think if Meret wants to be in the conversation of Donnarumma, he's got to play a lot better. And as of right now, this is Ospina's team. I think Ospina should be the starting goalie. And you heard it here first.
I think I said that last season too. I just think Ospina is a better all-round keeper.
Yeah.
I think Meret, I mean, Franchet never rated him, but Franchet more so than me. I still think he can become better. Franchet thinks he's a complete donkey, but
he's not.
Yeah, I kind of wish he was here right now.
He's not a donkey. Yeah, he's not like a donkey or like he's not shit. I've seen worse goalies on like bigger teams.
Yeah.
Or that are like pretty, how do I use the word, dog crap. And I just think Meret, he makes a lot of mistakes that you make as a 20-year-old, as a 19-year-old. He's still young. I get that a lot. Like, I totally get that. I just think if he wants to be the starting goalie and to be considered the starting goalie, there's a lot of room for improvement that he has to that he has to work on.
Yeah, and I don't think it's only age. I think it's also how much you play, because he is older than Donnarumma, and Donnarumma has like tenfold the experience Meret has. I think him not going on loan was a big mistake. He's not going to get the playing time he needs to get better. And him just practicing and training, he's not going to get any better. This guy needs actual game time. So I think in January, Napoli needs to let him go on loan. He's not going to get better. Yeah. I can promise you right now, Meret, in June, if he remains on Napoli, he's not going to get any better.
Honestly, I can see Napoli even if say
even
I like what I like what Gattuso's doing too. I feel like he's splitting reps, so he'll give Meret. Since he played Thursday, I'm confident that he might be playing Saturday, so he'll give them those games just to get the feel of it. So that's one thing I like what Gattuso's doing. But I can also see even in January, or not January, maybe January, if he I don't know if he might get loaned out. I think he might stay the full season. But I think if Meret doesn't want to be considered a rotational goalie, I can even see him asking for maybe a loan deal in June. Maybe at worst comes to worst, maybe even to sell him, and then maybe just sign a 25-year-old backup goalie who will just be strictly a backup, or even just get an 18-year-old again and just develop him. Who knows what Napoli want to do.
Yeah, and I think now it's time for Napoli to make a decision on Meret. He turns 24 in March. I say send him on loan, give him 6 months, see how he does. If he does better, keep him, obviously, stick with him. If he does bad, sell him before his value completely drops.
Yeah, because you can
get him for anything.
Probably could get him for 15-20 million right now.
Yeah, that's why. And you don't want to go any lower than that. So I think this season, Meret needs to show something, or Napoli just needs to get rid of him. Because don't waste your time on, can't wait for a keeper, honestly. And 23, it's young, but he'll be 24 in March. Donnarumma, you see how young he is. He got game experience.
21, yeah.
Yeah, he's 21,
Seems like he's been 21 for 5 years.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. It does feel like that. I just feel like, if you're a keeper, you need game time and you need experience. Training, there's only so much better you can get in training. When you train every day, it's kind of like just staying in shape, staying sharp, but you're not really getting better in training. You just need game time, game experience, deal with the pressure. And I think, not a lot of people talk, but I feel like something maybe mentally, maybe a little mentally weak or gets down on himself. Because to me, it seems like when he makes a mistake from one game, he carries it over to the next game, and it just keeps going like that. It's like a trickle-down effect. I feel like mentally maybe he's not that strong, and I think that comes from only playing maybe twice every couple of weeks or once every couple of weeks or once a month sometimes, like, you know what I mean? If you play every week, then you have to teach yourself how to deal with that. So anyways, we went off about Meret.
Yeah.
But we'll talk more about it when we talk about Napoli in a bit. But moving on now, Juve. Obviously, we all saw without Ronaldo, they struggled, tied to Crotone, tied to Verona. They lost to Barcelona. So obviously, we see how important Ronaldo is now. For me, I never, like, watching him, to me doesn't seem like he does much, honestly, but like, if you look at the results, it shows when Ronaldo's there, Juve is a better team. I think just having Ronaldo there makes the defense have to worry about him so much that someone like Morata can get space to score and slip in there because they're kind of unfocused and worried about Ronaldo. But yeah, Juve, well, Ronaldo, they struggled.
And you know what? I was hard on Morata when he came into the league when Juve re-signed him, but he's been playing good. He's nothing fancy. If you want a striker that could in the right position at the right time, Morata is your guy. It's like, so I just think without Ronaldo, again, like it's Ronaldo, so it's like in football losing your starting QB. That's what I feel like Ronaldo is, and he's just an important fixture for Juve. And without him, they look lost. Like we all seen it. But with Ronaldo now and with Morata in form, you can see like, okay, you have to worry about these guys because they can both score and they can both like hurt you. And against I can't even say that Hungarian team's name, to be honest with you. But
Ferencváros or something like that.
Yeah.
We always make a joke, our friends, because we have a friend named Ryan, like I mentioned before. He's Hungarian, and that's his favorite team. So we screw up his name by accident, the name of the team. But yeah,
I
like that.
Don't know how to say it. Yeah, I was gonna say I think they're the Hungarian champions, right?
Ferencváros, I don't know, something like that. Honestly, I have no idea, but I think so.
So that team that they played this past week, Morata looked like he looks good. Like he's just in the right place at the right time. And yes, he's got offside coming out of his, like his behind. And I just think now with Ronaldo coming back, I think it's like, if you're like a fan of Juve, you gotta look out for Ronaldo and Morata, that pairing. That they could be a pairing to look out for that can like torment defense with like the way Ronaldo plays and the way Morata is always positioned in the box. He's always in great positions to have a shot or to find the back of the net. Just the one thing that concerns me now, I just think Juve look sloppy on defense. I don't know if you want to like add on to that. I just think they don't look as strong as they once were in defense. I don't know if it's if the player quality is not there, or if it's just the way Pirlo plays. It's not a good defensively team. I just think Juve defensively, they're not that strong as they were, like even last season or the year before. And even their midfield play too. I still don't like their midfield at all.
Yeah, the midfield obviously very weak. Their defense, I agree, Danny. Like you saw, I think I brought this up like 2 podcasts ago, but once again, the match against Roma, Mkhitaryan is a great player, obviously, but he's not someone with speed, and he outran Bonucci, like murdered him on that play. Like he left him in the dust, and I think Bonucci is the only player I've seen Mkhitaryan outrun this season, like that. Like he left him in the dust. So that tells you a lot. I think Bonucci is starting to decline. I think everyone is. I feel like Juve are missing Alexandro a little bit. Chiesa is another player I don't rate, to be honest. He's a good crosser, but that's about it.
He's just got speed and he's a good crosser.
Yeah. His goal scoring ability is second. I was about to say second to none. My bad. No, close to none. I don't think he has any goal scoring ability, to be honest. Yeah. I don't know. Juve, they look weaker, but I feel like we say that every year and they still win.
Yeah, so. And they find a way to win the league. Like it's just can't count out the champions until they're officially knocked out.
Yeah, exactly. As of now, they're still champions, and I don't have any doubt in my mind that they'll be fighting up there at the top, even if they don't win. They'll be amongst the top 2, top 3 for sure. And they'll probably win, to be honest. Let's be honest here. We always say, oh, this, that. They're probably going to win. But, yeah, moving on from Juve, I wish we had Franchet here to talk more about it, but unfortunately don't. But we'll make sure we get him on next week and he can talk about Juve more. Moving on now, Roma. Wow. I've been so excited to talk about Roma on this podcast. I've been waiting a while now. Roma. We've been technically undefeated. Obviously, like I said before, the Diawara situation, we have a loss on a record, but on the pitch, we haven't lost a game yet this season. I think the only game we lost in a long time, actually, was that Sevilla match. I think that was the only loss we have in, the last, 15 games, maybe? We've been playing well. And I'm happy we carried on the form from the end of last season to this year. 3 at the back clearly works with Smalling, Mancini, now Kumbula, who's doing a really good job. 2 goals already. He's a good goal scorer. Has a good head on. My bad, fumbled my words there. He's very good at heading the ball. And Ibanez, for me, is someone I knew he was good coming into the season because I saw how well he did last year. But Ibanez, this guy keeps getting better every match. Now he's running up the whole pitch and almost scoring. To me, this guy will be one of the best center backs in Europe in 2 years' time. I'm telling you right now. I don't believe Roma is still going to have him at the end of the season. I just can't see how another team's not going to come in with a big offer for this guy. This guy is amazing. I can't get over him. He can do it all. He can score. His dribbling is better than most wingers I've seen. His shot's not that bad either. He almost scored from outside the box, ran the whole field against, who was that? Was it Fiorentina? No. It was before Fiorentina. I can't remember now. Yeah. But this guy is incredible. He can do it all. Against Ronaldo, he was bullying him, even though he did score that game. But Ronaldo scored and Bruno Perez was marking him. You know what I mean? But, but yeah, Ibanez to me is phenomenal. I can't get over him, and I'm trying to enjoy him while he's still here because I know he'll be gone very soon. So, yeah, shout out to Ibanez. Our midfield to me is the only thing that worries me a little bit. I liked individually Pellegrini. I'm always hard on him, but he's been great. He's been very good since coming back from international break with Italy after scoring that goal against the Netherlands. But Veretout and Pellegrini, to me, they don't complement each other in this system. I think we need a 3-man midfield, but then that would take away from our attack. So that would ruin the whole formation. I just feel like we need someone like a Castrovilli or someone like that in our midfield. I think that's all we're missing right now. But I can't really complain. They haven't done bad. I just feel like they don't complement each other like I would like to. Like to see them at least. But whatever, I'm not going to complain. That's a very, very small critique I have. Our attack, very old. Obviously, Pedro, Mkhitaryan. I think Pedro 33, Mkhitaryan 31, Dzeko 34, going on 35. It's a very old attack, but they've been playing every match. They haven't gotten tired. They're getting better. I think Mkhitaryan has 5 assists and 1 goal in 7 matches. He's been great. And yeah, I don't really have any complaints with the attack. Early on I did, but now, if I recorded this 2 weeks ago, I probably would have been more hard on the attack. But right now, no. They've been doing well. I feel like clearly we need someone like Zaniolo back because we're missing a rotation, obviously. He would start, but Pedro or Mkhitaryan would move to the bench. Most likely Pedro, I'd say. But he's been doing great. And then El Shaarawy is another one we need. He can score goals. Excuse me, but he can score goals out of his ass. El Shaarawy, he can score from anywhere, that guy. Even free kicks we saw he was scoring for us. So I think we'll get him back in January. He'll be an important piece. Midfield's good, defense is good, and Mirante, shout out to that man. He's been fantastic, 37 years of age, and he's only getting better. So yeah, happy with Roma. Fonseca, been doing a great job. Everyone called for his job. Oh, needs to be sacked. He needs to do this, that. He's done great. I don't see any reason to sack him. I see Roma are interested in Campos as director from Lille, and he's Portuguese, so maybe Roma is going to keep Fonseca, get the Portuguese link. I guess they know each other somehow. I'm not sure, but if they do get Campos, I can see Friedkin really wanting to stick with Fonseca. That might be the reasoning. I'm not too sure, but yeah, good job. I'm proud of the team. And Danny, anything you want to add in, or?
Maybe just a amen to that. I agree with everything you say. One thing too, I've been noticing with Roma too, they got a 4-man wall with Mancini, Smalling, Ibanez, and Kumbula. Those guys are, if Roma could play 4 center backs, just stay back the whole game, there's no way they're going to concede a goal ever again. Like, just the way they've been playing now. I don't know what the hell, like, what food's in Rome that, like, could make any defender a lot better. I didn't know how good Mancini was. I knew he was good, but the way he was playing, like, especially this season, even last season too, he looks like a brand new defender, and I was always a big Mancini guy. I always liked him when he was at Atalanta, and I just think he could take the next step and become one day maybe Italy's starter, and that's how good he is. And even Ibanez too, he's been having a really good season. Kumbula, we saw last season with Verona that he could be a good defender, and he's living up to his name at Roma. And then Smalling is Smalling. There's nothing you can complain about. He's been playing really good as of late as well. He's had, I think, 3 clean sheets in 4 games, or 2 and 3.
Three games, 3 clean sheets.
Oh, wow. That's, God, I wish I had that. At the beginning of the season, maybe, yeah, but now it's just, he's a good defender, and it's just, as of right now, like, I think if besides Atalanta, I think you can even consider Roma one of the hottest teams in Italy. And it's just fine. They're in fine form this season. Besides the stupid loss, I'm going to call it a stupid loss to Verona, which was a tie, but then with the rules, it's stupid. They've been probably the most impressive team in Italy. And maybe them and Milan, you can argue back and forth, them being the most impressive teams when it comes to performance and getting the job done. At the end of the day, you can have the crappiest performance, but if you win the match, that's the main thing, and that's the main thing that comes out of it. You won the game, and that's what Roma does. They always find ways to get the job done, even if they don't dominate, or if they dominate, they always find a way to get the job done, and that's what makes a good side a good side.
Yeah. Shout out to Spinazzola. He's probably been our top 2 player, top 3. Fantastic. And we've also been without Calafiori, who I think we'd be able to use now in the Europa League, but to give Spinazzola some rest, because that guy's last year he couldn't play a game without getting hurt, and now he can play every game. Doesn't even get tired at this point. I don't know what's going on, but he's been great. And yeah, we need Calafiori back. Obviously, he's out with COVID. And Diawara, another one. I think everyone forgot he's on our team. Diawara, who started almost every game he played last year, we've been without him too, so. Yeah. Waiting for him to come back from COVID as well. So, yeah, I'm excited for this team.
You guys got some good prospects too. Muriel, he played really good yesterday. Gonzalo Perez, he's looking, not Gonzalo Perez. Carlos Perez.
VR. Oh, Carlos Perez?
Yeah, he's okay. He's good too. VR is good. That guy, Tommaso Milanese, if I say his name right. Milanese.
Yeah, that's it.
He played okay when he came in, the kid.
Yeah, he did well. I don't think he missed a pass. Did what he had to do, made the right runs. Got an assist as well, played a nice ball into Pedro.
Welcome to the Tommy Club. We both have Tommasos that we can love.
Yeah, you got the espresso guy, and I got a midfielder.
I'm pretty sure we could put Tommaso in our midfield. He'll do better than what our midfield did yesterday.
Maybe he could be better than Lobotka. I don't know. Yeah,
he's been terrible this season. Oh my.
And you know what? Napoli was my next thing on my list, so go ahead. Talk about Napoli, bro.
Okay. So I don't know where to start, honestly, but I'm gonna start with the Sassuolo game. We were just terrible that game. We had so many chances that we could have finished. Osimhen, he had a really good chance in the first half that he scuffed, and Consigli came back and made a nice save. I just think I think he's going to be a good player in the future. I'm not going to judge him on 6 games into the season, because it's hard for a player to come from Europe, from France, from a different league to Serie A. And Serie A is, quote unquote, the best defensive league in the world, you can say. I don't want to judge Osimhen. Like, for me, yes, you can, or a $70 million price tag is a lot, but I think it's a future investment, and he's going to be a good future investment. So I guess that's our solo game. We lost 2-0. It wasn't the best. It wasn't an ideal game we had in mind. I just think Napoli were just terrible. They seemed like they were slow in every aspect of the game, especially that second goal where we just stopped. It looked like we just stopped playing, and we just stopped playing because we thought we should have had a penalty with the player grabbing Osimhen's jersey. It was just a weird game, but shout out to Sassuolo. I'm not gonna say, we should bet Sassuolo. Sassuolo gave it to they played a strong game without the likes of Caputo and Berardi. Locatelli, he's just a good player, man. He's a great midfielder. Some can say that the penalty shot was questionable, but at the end of the day, it was still a penalty. It was a penalty shot. We lost the game. We can't do nothing about it. But going back to the team we just played yesterday, the Croatian team, Rijka or something like that. Sorry if you're Croatian and I said that name wrong. I have no idea how to say the name. It was just a slow start once again. It seems like Napoli in the past few games they always start off slow. And then we let that team get into the game early. They got a goal in the 13th minute. Once they got the goal, I just thought, I'm like, okay, Napoli, you gotta wake up. And as the half got on, they started to play a lot better, and we finally got the goal in the 33rd minute with Diego Demme, who I think, yes, they could argue was probably the man of the match. He was absolutely really good yesterday. He made a few mistakes, yes, but he made up for it by getting a good goal, a good scrappy goal. And he was just always in the right position at the right time. He won the ball back a lot. He made some good passing. For me, and then we got on the way. You could say it was an own goal. I think it was an own goal. Rui crossed it into the box. Petagna missed it. I don't know how he missed it. He should have headed it home. But Politano was there at the end to header it off the defender and go in. So we won that match. We won yesterday's match 2-1. I wasn't impressed with the way we played yesterday at all. In the second half, I was more impressed. It looked like we were the better side on the day. I just think, for me, I'm just happy we got the 3 points, and at the end of the day, that's all that matters. I just think against bigger teams, if we play like this, we're gonna get killed. So hopefully against bigger teams, like the likes of Juventus, Lazio, Roma, Milan, Inter, we play a lot better, and I think we will. I just think this Europa League, every few days you have to travel to this country, to that, to this. It's going to take its toll on the players, and it's just a hard thing to do. I just think, for me, Politano has been arguably one of our best players this season. Koulibaly's been into form. And Insigne, too, he changed the game a lot. And yesterday when he came in, he looked like he was his old self. Hopefully the hamstring can hold up now. And one player I don't know what's happening. I don't know if it's because he's playing a new position. He's not used to it. It looks like Mertens is dipping in form. I don't know if something's up with him or if it's just a bad form to start the season. He hasn't been too good as of late. And I feel like yesterday they could have probably played him up top instead of Petagna and probably slot in maybe the likes of, say, Zielinski or even play Lozano. But the one player I was impressed with yesterday as well was Elmas. He's such a tricky player to defend, man. He's skillful. He can pass. He's pretty strong when he's on the ball. He can use his shoulder and go. And one player that, Enzo, you can argue this. I thought he played half an hour. That's how good he was playing. Gulam, when he played yesterday, he looked phenomenal. And his crossing is dangerous. He's got speed. Hopefully, I don't get how Gattuso doesn't start him. I just think he should be starting over Rui and over Husai any day of the week. So hopefully he does. And for me, I feel like if he can stay healthy and he can play like the way he can easily be a top 3 left back in Italy. And that's where he was before he suffered those 2 ACL injuries. So hopefully he can get back into form. And it's going to be, hopefully Napoli can improve a little bit. I know they haven't been playing as well as of late, but at the end of the day, getting the 3 points is all that matters. And Gattuso is good at motivating his team, and hopefully he can motivate his team on Sunday, because it's going to be a tough game, especially in Bologna. And I can't wait to watch it, because Napoli is the only team I look forward to this year.
Yep. My heart just dropped while you were talking, Dan. Jacko just announced he has the virus.
Oh, shoot.
So, yep. That's gonna be. I know he'll be fine, like health-wise, hopefully, but I'm just thinking now, Merel's gonna have to start. Oh, okay. Well, that surprised me. I just saw on Instagram now.
Wow.
That's gonna change a lot of things now. Maybe we're like when it comes to like actually playing, we're fortunate the international break's coming up. But wow, this virus is getting out of hand, man. So many players have been getting it, but one thing I don't like, quick before we end it off here, I don't like how these teams that we're traveling to have all these fans at the stadium. It's very eerie to me. I don't like it at all. It's I don't see how, in my opinion, I know every country is different with how they're handling the virus, but I don't think fans should be anywhere. They're either everywhere or nowhere. I think once it's safe everywhere for every team in the competition, then okay. But you can't have some fans and some not, and it's a mess right now. Okay, just please.
And one thing I think we can all agree on: international break is the worst thing to do during a pandemic. Oh yeah, it's terrible.
It's really mixing different countries together, and I can't stand it. And I can promise you right now, at the end of this break, we're gonna have more cases, more players out. And that's why this season, like, as much as I'm trying to take it seriously, we can't. Like, let's say we have Juve Inter tomorrow. Ronaldo could be out again. Hakimi could be out. We don't know who the better team actually is with all these players out. Like Roma against Milan, I'll be honest, we got fortunate. Donnarumma wasn't in that. It probably would have been a different game, but to be fair, we also missed Diawara for the last couple of games. So, whatever, every team has to deal with it, but it's just very annoying how there's fans, and I don't know, I think UEFA should be looking into that now because cases are going up ever since fans came back, to be honest. So, and ever since that first international break, cases have gone up. Before that, there weren't many. I think maybe 2 or 3 before that.
Yeah.
Now there's like 6, 7 every week. You saw Lazio now; they're being investigated on. Danny can tell you this right now. I said through like a chat we have.
I think you said it on the podcast too. I don't know if you said on the podcast or just you said like watch out for. You said I remember. I'm pretty sure I know you said 100%, and you said watch out for the Lazio situation because they could be investigating. I don't know if you said on the podcast or if you said it just to me directly in a group chat we have. But I remember you saying it a lot.
Yeah, because I know how Lazio is as a club, and this doesn't surprise me at all. Sunday, you're not going to see Mobile, you're not going to see no one. I'm telling you right now, they all have the virus. I'm telling you right now. You'll see it's going to come out soon. So they're being investigated now. I'm pretty sure Mobile tested positive twice or something. I saw a report. I'm not sure, but anyways, I called it from a long time ago. I think Juve Lazio this weekend, I believe, on Sunday, 9 a.m. Eastern time. And you're not going to see many Lazio players. I'll tell you that right now. But, yeah, thank you guys for listening. We're happy to be back. It's great. Now, we'll be back next week. Talk about the match days. We promise you we'll be back next week. And, yeah, go check out our social media. Instagram at Six Side Calcio, Twitter, all that good stuff. It's all at Six Side Calcio. Go check out my vintage jersey. Use code 6SideCalcio, 5% off. I'll see you guys next week. Ciao ragazzi.
Ciao.